All right. Good morning, Rochelle. How's it
Good
going?
morning. Happy
Is
Wednesday.
it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday?
Some bad.
Well, let's tell everybody why we're here. You and I I had this idea, and then you were like, "Well, are you going to do it?" And so here we are. And hopefully this will get a lot smoother as we go. I think this is probably a little bit how my grandma felt when they switched from rotary phones to dial. Like you and I are both pretty technical, but like this whole thing, I'm just not sure. Like been tweaking the lights and tweaking the microphone and everything. So, but I have a lot of friends that are looking forward to this. So hopefully this will get smoother as we go. But why don't we first start like how we met, and you can interview me a little bit, and I can interview you a little bit.
Okay.
So
You want to give your version of how we met, or you want me to start with my version?
oh, both would be interesting. But I'll go with my version. I tend to tell, I think everybody will learn, I tend to show my cards, pretty quickly. And Rochelle's a little bit more reserved, a lot more reserved than I am. And so I think that's why we make a good pair. But met Rochelle in June of last year when I started with a company that we're probably going to end up talking about quite a bit. But we both had positions there, and we met there. We formed a bond. We formed a friendship. We formed a real mutual understanding of how this world operates.
Yes, yes.
And so, yeah, I think we found a commonality where, I certainly stand on business with things. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, Rochelle's a little bit more reserved than I am. But I found that when we talked on the side that, when we stand on business, we mean business. And I had this idea for a podcast to really talk about both sides of an issue. It could be silly, it could be, impacting, it could be really be anything, but having an intellectual banter about it and being very open. And so that's, we met through work, but our connection took us into other places. So it'll be interesting to see what Rochelle has to say. So Rochelle, I'll let you talk while I sip my coffee.
Uh-huh. If that's what I haven't had this morning is coffee. I'm like, why can't I wake up? Because I haven't had any
But you
coffee.
still in bed
Right, with the cover over me, but I
with
did
the
get up.
blanket like my teenager.
But yes, we met. Um, we was working together, and Angie being Angie and such a friendly person doesn't meet a stranger. Asked if anyone was located in the Charlotte area. Of course, I reached out, and the rest is history. Here we are. She just keeps bothering me about this podcast, so here we are now.
Here we are now. Excuse me, I actually just woke up, so I'm an hour behind Rochelle, and
Oh,
she
I
did
should have said
mention.
11 o'clock. You should have told me.
I know it's okay. It's okay. I have been procrastinating. So you mentioned Charlotte. So let me talk about that first. And the reason why I was in Charlotte. And so my current boyfriend,
Not current.
my
Right now,
boyfriend,
at this very moment, second, it may change
but
later. So,
pretty much current for this last 6 years because I can't shake him. But no, he lives in Charlotte. And so when I found out I was working for a company that was 100% remote, uh, it's like Rochelle said, I'd like to connect with people. I don't always meet all of them that I met. I don't always like all of them when I meet them, but
Mhm.
as a rule, if I'm find somewhere or think that there's somewhere that's like home to me, I'm very interested in connecting with the people that I would have common goals with. And it just so happens that when I reached out to Rochelle and found out that she was in Charlotte at the time, our paths hadn't crossed within the work as it related to the work. And so we really did become friends first. And then through the course of me onboarding, which is really how quick we became friends,
Hmm.
because I wasn't there but a year. There's a story about that too, um,
Next
but
episode.
yeah, but there was, from my perspective, things happen for a reason, and here we are. And Rochelle has really been, whether she knows it or not, or whether you know it or not, I probably would still be sitting on my couch talking about doing this and not sitting here recording this first
Oh,
episode. So uh I appreciate you for that. Rochelle and I are both in interesting places in our lives right now. And I think
absolutely.
just as women, our areas in life are always interesting. It's just this one in particular for us is it has been challenging. And so um and did just like that, I lost my train of thought about what I was gonna talk about next.
Um, do you not have a list?
No, I didn't have a list. I was just wanted to be sort of casual and introduce the folks that I'm hoping will listen to us and want to hear more. Um, I did kind of want to set out in telling folks about you and about me, there
Hmm.
is a very marked difference in how each of us communicates. And as my personality comes out and people will see, I push the envelope a lot on how to get my point across. And I want to make sure that we establish that there's never an uncompassionate bone, in my body. And
So you
and
mean well, but sometimes it just don't come off that way. Is that what
yeah,
you're trying to say?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
we
I
listening.
mean well, but it doesn't always, so I'm going to offend somebody.
Yeah.
But I want, if I do offend someone, I'm also the type, like, I want to know it. I want to know, what was lost in the message because I said it a certain way, because that's part of the message, right?
Mhm.
That's part of, and I talked to someone about this yesterday, that I've met very few people that I wouldn't be friends with on a regular basis. And it doesn't matter where I live or what I do. Uh, I have said for a long time I should have a shirt that says I collect people.
Mhm.
But I'm not perfect. And so it's important for me to have a space where not only I believe in myself, but I believe in the people that I hope to reach, and that I'm a reasonable person, and I'm not perfect, but I do feel very passionate about how I see certain experiences and how I see people interacting in those experiences and how I see things that other people don't see that could hurt them
Yeah.
or impede their progress or keep them from their goals
Okay,
or
so but at what point do you say, I can no longer be passionate about this, I have to give up? Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. Like you can talk all day till you blue in the face, but it has to be up to the person. So at what point for you do you be like, I'm wiping my hands clean with this?
yeah, so that depends on, if I'm helping somebody, they'll tell me, I got it. But for me, you bring up a good point, because part of my personality is to ruminate and to take on things as my own, right? And to carry torch for people that I may, carry longer than what I need to. And you're right, it can be unhealthy for the other person, it can be unhealthy for me. And I don't know that if you ever remember my boss at our job saying this, but one thing that she did say about me was my saving grace is that I'm so self-aware. And that's also sort of
And she wasn't.
and she wasn't. See, this is what Rochelle's earning her money now. Now, this is why Rochelle
We didn't sign any NDA, so we're good.
say that again.
So we didn't sign any NDA, so we're good.
Yeah, I didn't sign nothing. I didn't sign, and I made sure I didn't sign anything because that I'm sure the stories will get to that. But I wanted, back to I think I'm watching the clock because I really wanted this to be, an intro and you and I to absorb, how what the format was, how we talked, see what folks say. But for the longest time, I've wanted a platform of some sort to put my ideas out and put my ideas down and not to have them validated by anybody, but I don't necessarily need that. But it was just to have an outlet, just to have an outlet. And I don't have the attention for writing a book. I think I'm a great, I think I'm a pretty good written writer. I'm not as
Well,
as
you
good of
have
a speaker on my
you
on
have
my
AI
toes.
for that now.
I have the what?
AI for that now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So someone said, "Well, what about a podcast?" And I considered it. And I went, "Okay, that should be pretty easy." And then I'm just overthinking and procrastinating and a lot of it, I was thinking about this. A lot of it is just fear based. I joined a group recently, and I think Gabe is listening. My friend Gabe started a Facebook group for people who procrastinate. And I was even procrastinating,
In the
posting
group.
something there. And here he was, the first person that I think liked our page. It was like, all right, I'm going to be looking for that podcast. So I don't want this to
Wait,
just
Gabe
be
is not the person that lives in California that you told me about, is it?
about
No.
Gabe. I think Gabe's still in Dallas. Probably
Oh,
not.
okay.
Yeah, Gabe and I go way back, way back. But yeah, he just and that came out of left field too. I was like, Gabe's a procrastinator. So maybe we'll have Gabe on. We'll have to see see what that whole procrastinate. But I didn't realize that that's really what I was doing. But yeah, I'm a ruminator. I'm a ruminator. I can ruminate about anything. I'm a master ruminator. And that's what gets me into these cycles where I keep, perfecting and perfecting and sometimes not perfecting, just going around in my brain. And I think that this format will help me be able to channel some of those things. But
Now,
I want to engage.
when you say format, you're speaking solely on just this platform, just podcast. You're not saying format because when you say format to me, I'm thinking of a strategic strategy of how this will flow. This the project manager in me. I'm like, format. We don't have format. What
Yeah,
do you mean?
here's Rochelle, my project manager for hire. uh,
Yesterday.
but yeah, I mean, so there's the thing. Rochelle provides me with the structure, but I don't know what the format is, right? I want to look if we post this and uh the sky's the limit. I think the next thing that we do is we bring up a topic, maybe the topic of the day, and we banter and talk about that. But what I really want to do is talk to people. Like that's what I really want to do. I want someone to tell
Okay.
me or us, like, this is what I'm struggling with, whether it's, work or whether, and they want a real solution, not just somebody making fun of them, not just somebody making fun of the situation. I mean, we're going to make fun of the situation. There's no doubt about it.
Well,
But
I was going to say, speaking of procrastination, I don't think I'm that type of person. I just think sometimes my ADHD take over, my undiagnosed, untreated ADHD takes over. And that doesn't make me necessarily a procrastinator. I just haven't got back to it.
That's a good way to look at it. And I think it's important that as long as we have our personal markers in our mind of, am I waiting? Am I waiting for something specific or am I waiting on myself?
Mm, both.
Yeah. And the I understand the part about the ADD. We all have a lot going on. I'm still appealing, unemployment. I've got an EEOC complaint going forward. I'm putting my house on the market. I'm not working. You're not working. You have children. I have children. Like we just have a lot going on. And
Hmm.
I also think as mothers, we put things ahead of some of the things that might, like this podcast, bring joy to us, bring joy to other people, which for you and I think is very important. Um, that's the one thing we got out of our relationship is pure joy at some point, amidst all the chaos. But yeah, I think sometimes we put the nice shiny things to the side that bring us that joy because we feel selfish by not, is something Craig brought up yesterday. My current boyfriend was that it's hard to switch to something creative or something that finds joy when you're sitting there having to refresh your inbox every 5 minutes to see if you've gotten a job contact or not.
Hmm.
And that wears a lot, those cycles. And when you don't have the structure that you're used to of either going to an office or getting up and having something in front of you to work on in a structured way, we pop back and forth to the things that are going to bring us joy for that moment. So um it's tough to prioritize the things that we can't see the value in right now. And for me, that's this podcast, right?
Hmm.
Recording that first one, it's like, well, no wonder you've got imposter syndrome because it's really just you and you on the, when you're recording this. And you just hope and pray that someone sees the potential, just like if we were interviewing for work. And as long as I have, a handful of people that are getting value and then tell another friend that, hey, you should listen. Like if you're having a bad day, these girls are gonna at least for 5 minutes give you some hope that things aren't as bad as they seem, and that at least you have two people here that have seen quite a bit of frustration and challenge, and how the
Angie,
challenges
I
of
just want to
today.
say this. I am looking at your background, and the picture of me makes me look way older than what I am.
Let me. I'll just sit sideways. This Chat GPT did us bad.
Very bad. But, we're here now. So,
Well, you don't even have it up. Well, I just thought it was funny. We don't have to keep this because I mean, I look like someone's about to be grandma. It's like what you would look like right the year before your kid had a grandbaby.
oh my God.
I think when we first uploaded, I said,
Yes.
"Why do we look like lesbians?"
But I mean, it's enough for now. But
Rochelle is not liking it. She's not liking it. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. Maybe we'll just go with a natural background. My cat's behind me,
I like, oh, which one?
the fat one.
Oh, okay. Hey, cat. Oh no.
I could try to turn it off. There he is. So
Oh,
yeah, we
slide
could.
over. Oh, he's huge. He's like 60 pounds.
So maybe Zook will be our producer. Zook, you want to be our producer? Oh, he's
His hair's
grouchy.
one
He's
up.
not had his coffee yet, but maybe we should take a couple minutes and I don't know, maybe you haven't talked very much because I talk a lot. Everybody knows this. I talk a lot and I have to watch Rochelle's face. So when we had a boss, or well, yeah, we had a boss. By the way, she was fired the day after I quit. Anyway, uh,
This morning, and I said a little prayer for her, even though she doesn't give two shits about us. I hope
say
that
a
she's
little prayer for
surviving.
me.
I just hope she's one, I hope she realized that what you do unto others will come back to you. Like, I definitely believe in karma, and I know she's probably getting her healthy share of it. Like, she was evil. You can't do evil for evil because evil will come back to you 10 times more. So I said a little prayer for her. Give her a little grace and mercy. We all need it in this climate. But what was you asking me?
Well, what would you like to see in the like when we do this again? So Rochelle and I have talked about trying to do this once a week. Um, but
Mhm.
like I've leaned towards having a guest on that could quiz us, or what do you
Uh,
envision this to be? This is not determined because I honestly I could lay out a script and plan this thing, and you know this from our agile experiences, which is why we had to become scrum masters and all that nonsense.
and product owners.
Let's right. So did you notice I changed the meeting to MVP? This was our
Mhm.
MVP podcast because we have just what we needed to get this thing going. So do we have an MVP two next week, Rochelle, or what's that? What's my homework? How about that? What's my homework for my project manager?
This is what I think. I think you should live out the week. And then I would like for you to come back and discuss your highlights of the week and how to make the next week a better week. Because, like you said, we both are unemployed, very talented, skilled people, unemployed. However, there's a lot that people are facing, which they can relate to what we're relating to as well. I mean, for me, there's over 300,000 Black women who are unemployed, and I am one of them. Have I had to pivot to change my skills into doing consulting, which is a whole nother avenue of entrepreneurship and something that's new to me. And like you said, I have two kids. And I'm pretty sure there's a whole healthy amount of women, not just Black and colored people or people of color, but women in general, that are unemployed right now. Either they can't go into the offices they're mandated to go into 5 days a week, 3 days a week because of childcare, can't afford childcare because they make too much money. I mean, I can go on and on, but there are people out there that needs to hear our stories that they can resonate with. So that's what I would like to see you come back and just lay it all out the truth. Like, this is what happened to me this week. You know, this is who I
Oh,
ran into this
last
week.
stories.
This is who I
Ah,
ran into. Like, girl, you would not believe what happened to me, or
but
like who I
well,
met.
that's actually really good, and I can even hone in on that more because I meet all kinds of people when I go out. And you and I haven't even talked about my month in England of annoying the hell out of everybody over there.
Oh my God. Like when I text you and you was like going in, I was like, dang, maybe today's not a good day for her in England. But
Yeah.
okay.
Well, yeah, and I could talk about a little bit. I was on the radio in England,
Yeah.
warming up with my friend Paul Marsh at Express FM.
Mhm.
The According to him, the top five radio stations in England, which obviously England is like Texas is five times bigger than England, but we'll give him that. But Paul had me on his radio show twice, and that really gave me a really good kind of flow or a picture of how this should go. I've never done this before. The last time I was on the radio, I think I was 20, and I was asked to I was in a contest to make the sound of a car that needed an oil change. And I won an oil change because I did that. I was working in a daycare, so I don't know what the
Angie,
kids were doing, but
that's so like you. I'm
I
not
did. I
surprised.
was
It's
like,
so
watch
much
them
like you.
kids. I was teaching before and after school kids, and I was like, there's a radio contest. And I called up and They said make the sound of a car that needed oil change because that's how bad I needed to win this oil change. I was
Oh my
so
God.
needed money.
I actually need an oil change right now as we speak. I'm like 1,000 miles over, but
But see,
we
that's another thing, right? It's amazing. And you talk about women that are so busy. Like here we are, busting our humps, trying to provide for our families, and we don't even have 10 minutes to go get an oil change, right? Uh, and I want to talk about, I will talk about my week next week. In fact, I get back, I'm going to Washington, D.C. to see my cousins tomorrow and to see my new place out in Delaware, which a lot of people listening to this will not know that until they listen to this. But I'm going to go visit uh, the new townhouse in Delaware, visit my cousins,
who's going
and
with you?
just me.
Okay.
Yeah. Daughter was in England with me for a month. Craig was here a week after I got back. I'm like, I'm going by myself. I barely unpacked from England, but before I went to see my cousins, and when and there was a new baby boy who was about 8 months when I was there, and I just fell in love with him. And I told my cousin, like, if I come back and he's walking, I'm going to lose my mind. So I went
Please
on. There was
send
like a
me
flight.
send me some updated pictures because last time, I got the other pictures. So send me some updated pictures of the baby.
Yeah,
Hey, cousin, I'm Rochelle. I already seen your baby.
this is Rochelle. She already saw you. Cause yeah, I've just, I go where there's joy, and they gave me joy. My cousins, you're real close to your cousins. And that's a story all in itself as well. Um, so yeah, I'll do that. I think that's a good thing because I don't think, my stories, like when I meet people and what I do to them. But
Yeah.
I like to challenge, I like to hear what people have to say, and I like to challenge them. And I'll just walk up to random people, and there's all these guys making money on TikTok doing random stuff to people, and I'm just out there being a person to these people, right? See something that I relate to with them and make an experience out of it. And it's not something I try to do. It's just who I am. And when they walk away and they're smiling, and I walk away and I'm smiling, and like, oh, they met somebody today that is genuinely a good person and enjoys talking to other people, it makes me feel good. And I want other people to experience that. Now, I will, behind closed doors, dress
hmm
somebody down. But that's where this podcast comes in. I like to hold people accountable to their ideas and their thoughts and what they just said. And I like to see that experience and experience that with them when I talk to them, and we leave happy, joyful, and friends, and sometimes lifelong friends. I have friends that I met that way, uh, like Rochelle.
Yeah.
So well, good that I'm going to do that. We running out of time. Rochelle, any last minute thoughts on this chaotic mess that we just did?
I just hope everyone is having an awesome day. And if you're not, it's not too late to change that. Make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. So don't go down the rabbit hole, climb out of it.
Yep. And y'all can reach out on our Facebook page. Well, I've just got the socials created, so we'll get that posted, and y'all can send us messages on the social apps. Like I didn't even know the word social before I last week. Like, yeah, I'm talking like I'm some kind of influencer, some shit.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll got our socials. We get our socials out there, and I've tried an email address, so you guys can find us, reach out to, please do not, like, you can stalk me, that's fine. Like, I think I'm pretty, but please don't be weird. Don't be weird. Don't be mean. Because
Cringy.
I will put you out, just like Miss Edith Thompson was my child development teacher in sixth grade. She was like, Walker, I will put you out.
Well,
So,
I just want to say this, Angie. Thank you so much because you have done a lot of leg work behind all of this. For those who don't know, Angie has done everything from putting the name out there, the logo, setting up the socials, as she say. everything you have been on it. So I really appreciate you, and I don't want you to think that I don't, but I notice it, and I'm thanking you and giving your flowers in front of everyone.
Oh, thank you. They smell so good.
Okay, it's the fancy ones, the high
So
dollar ones.
fancy. Oh, yeah. I've been, girl, she's speaking my language. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm just, I hope the goal for our next is that we have 5 people that are gonna, maybe we go live next time. We'll talk about that. Because I think it might be cool in the next 4 or 5 episodes to bring some other people into it. That's my next technology challenge, but let's get this going and smooth. And if anything, we could do a Facebook Live or something like that where people can at least interact with us and chat. But I don't. I'm one of those people that will go from 0 to 60, and then I'm like, wow, this is all broken. I don't know what to do. So let's take it. Let's take it as it goes. Let's get some feedback from our friends that are listening, our initial MVP friends, our product owners. And Rochelle, I hope you have a wonderful day and week, and we'll talk when I get back from Washington D.C. And I appreciate you too. You've kept me, really pushing towards this, and it's one thing when you talk smack to Rochelle, she makes you back it up. So I've heard podcast, podcast, podcast. I'm like, but I was kind of joking. And then
Okay,
here we are. I
money where
wasn't
your mouth
joking.
at.
What's that?
I said, put your money where your mouth at.
Put your money where your mouth is. And I do. I talk a lot. I'll walk, but I most of what I do is talk. So I appreciate Rochelle for holding me accountable, being my accountability partner, and when she has a chance to talk over me,
Look,
she
look,
obviously she's
you're still
very.
rambling, Andrew. You're still
I
rambling.
know,
You're supposed
I
to
know,
end this 3 minutes ago, and you're still going on.
I know. See, here we go. All right, see you guys next time. We'll have some
Later.
play out music. Bye, y'all.